Hey there, good morning. Reed here, back at Orchestra Farm for my morning walkabout. And let's take a little peek. Eventually it'll come into focus, I think. Let's zoom in. There's some focus. Look at that, huh? Huh, I want it still focus, I don't know. I'm not a camera guy. But on a different note, we had nice rain last night, which is great. Keep everything nice and lush and green. We're coming into the tail end of May 2025 if you're watching this in the future. And I'm pretty stoked this morning because there's this new AI course that's coming out. I think it's like Dangerous with ChatGPT by Jack Spirko. There's only 100 seats in the class. Seats is strong language, but you get the idea. 100 spots. And there's over 500 people who are signed up to receive the notice that the class was launching. And with my wife's help, I got in. So pretty thrilled about that. And it's not like a simple class in regards to, it's focused on business. It's focused on solopreneurs, which is someone who's running their own business, not just a not big business kind of thing, but small or sized businesses, which is definitely my ballpark here. Whether it's my landscape property management styled business or, the business that this channel and my YouTube and website are more focusing on and through. So I'm super stoked on that, to elevate all these things to their next levels. And to be clear, it's more for, my up and coming business, website and suchness than my landscaping one. But I'm sure there's crossover. So I was pushing the refresh button a bunch and everything was just complete failure. And then my wife just sat there all calmly and got to work and got into it. She's like, yeah, you gotta learn how to chill out. I'm like, that's real. Definitely need to work on that. And let's check this out first. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. That I gotta clean my camera, I guess. My lens. Some nice blueberries there, though. There we go. And so that was great. I've been hopped up on this potential since I heard about it. And on other factors, I'm listening to some other people talk, and a recognition of so much of, the AI, robotics, all that kind of stuff is dealing with what might be called levels of perfection, and the idea of humans are rarely, if ever, perfect. And I really like the Islamic idea that only God can be perfect. Oh no, this is something I really got to deal with over here. Oh. So you see the tall grasses here? But you see that little tree? That's my hickory tree, which is really, wow. Oh my gosh, it's put on solid 2 foot. That's amazing. Super happy with that. And then here's another tomato. Looking great. And the idea that humans are kind of messy and, not perfect. In my music and in most of the artistic things that I do, it's all of those imperfections that I actually really like, that make it feel alive and like a living thing. This organic world that I'm walking through and into and with and as, it has that same quality of imperfections. You can tell the difference between a man-made canal and a person-made zone in that realm of, canals are all straight. I love these straight lines. And, whoa, that's seriously wet. nature has some straight lines. They do exist. However, they're few and far between. And that recognition of there are times when we want the straight lines, and there are times when we need the imperfections. We need the messiness. We need, that level of real. Something as real as I did not get here yesterday to weed whack around this jungle gym, which my kids need to play on when they get here. So, in the next little while, I gotta do that. But being able to offer that authentic realness, not just trying to make something messy for the sake of it, but to do it because it's some form of a realism and a truth, is a beautiful thing to offer as a person. And then to recognize that, behind the scenes, having these different helpers to make us get straight lines, rulers, levels, plumb lines, squares, all these kinds of things, tool sets in the construction world or even in the design world. And then, I find that to be some of the case of this AI robotic stuff is just it just gives a lot of exactness. And then to be able to take that stuff and add to it in the organic, human, more natural aesthetic realm, pretty great. So anyway, that's some of what I'm thinking about today as I get off to work in the morning. I want to say thanks for joining me here. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. That really makes a world of difference here. I'm doing live streaming from my studio space. If you want to see some, organic, improvised music relation stuff, that kind of combines what I'm talking about there with the hardware that I'm using, along with playing saxophone and such. Come and tune in Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for that. And remember to have too much fun.